All right, welcome to today's recap. This is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group, and another event-driven day that we had. We had the Fed meeting, which we really didn't get too much guidance. There wasn't anything that really changed in terms of the interest rate expectations. So I need to go to Fed funds. The Fed funds are showing basically the same thing that they were showing, actually less. I think before the FOMC statement, Fed fund futures were implying about a 10% chance of a rate hike. That dropped to 4.1. And December was a 45% chance. So it looks like this dropped down to 40. So I was thinking we might get a little bit of a hawkish statement. That was my little prediction. I had two trades for today set up. I was actually long. I went long the U.S. dollar, and that tanked. Basically, you could see from the price reaction today. I'll go over Facebook, and I'm going to go over the earnings as well. But if you look at UUP, the dollar continued to tank, so down another 60 basis points. And usually the currency move, the move in gold, the move in rates kind of tells the picture. So gold did rally. So the two trades that I had on, I was long the U.S. dollar. That didn't work. I had a weekly trade on for 3 or 4 cents. Not a big deal. The other trade that I had on was a home run. I went long GDX for the Fed announcement, and look at what gold did today. And GDX had a crusher. So, here's the trade that we put on today. So if you go to trades, here's my Fed day trade. GDX strangle bought the weekly's 22.5 calls and the 22 puts. Total cost for that was 24 cents, and I was taking profits at. I think I had another one above. I don't know why I don't have it in here, but I think at 55 cents, I believe, was my target number three. I'm surprised I actually have it in the main group chat. But so really nice trade there. What did this cause? What did this do? When you talk about less interest rate hikes, this crushed the banks. So KRE was down 2% today, the regional banking ETF. Banks are the biggest weight in the small cap, the Russell 2000 IWM. So that brought down the Russell 2000. Banks and REITs are about 20% of the IWM. So a big move down there. Again, these will really move together. IWM. I showed a chart yesterday on Twitter. The correlation between IWM and banks is extremely high, especially the regional banks. They will move one and the same. So that was the Fed announcement. Earnings after the close. So I'm going to go over earnings really quickly. What was really funny about Facebook was Bloomberg had the wrong number on here. So this initial move down here, you could see if you go to Facebook, they pulled the number that they originally had. So the number that they reported was fine, but you should see it corrected in here. Yeah, so they corrected this. The number was fine that they reported was 132, but they were showing that the estimate was high, was about 140. So I think they really screwed up here pretty badly. Probably somebody lost a decent amount of money on it because it looked like they missed their EPS number initially, and then they pulled back and corrected it. I was watching CNBC as we were giving our live session after the close, and I noticed, I was like, that's weird. CNBC has a different number for EPS. And then all of a sudden you see Bloomberg yanked the number. So Facebook up nicely here. I'll go through just quickly some of the names that reported earnings. Again, I think pretty impressive. Not every number, but those names that have been in really good uptrends have reported pretty good numbers. So we'll start with the names that I played. So I played ServiceNow. I had sold a put spread and bought a call spread, so this was looking pretty good. I also played Edward Life Sciences, that's also moving to the upside, and then I've got a couple plays tomorrow. So I actually traded 4 names for earnings, which is unusual for me. So really nice moves there. PayPal also was a nice, I believe is still up. Yep, PayPal moving to the upside. VNTV, last I checked, I didn't see this name reporting. No, I don't think it's out yet. Las Vegas Sands, a little bit of a whipsaw move, up, now down. Whiting also looks like it's down. Two chip names came out. Lam Research, which is now up, and then Xilinx, which is also up a bit. So the chip numbers continue to kind of provide good numbers. AMD was a nice one yesterday. Texas Instruments actually ended up came in a little bit, but ended up nicely as well. Buffalo Wild Wings down. Now the couple of the losers. WHR, Whirlpool also down. We did Facebook already. Orly, looks like, wow, that number's up nicely, 197. Teradyne also just recently came out. Looks like they're a little bit all over the place. So that's the earnings names, and that's what a lot of the option flow that we've been seeing recently. I'll go through today's most aggressive option trades for the day. Started off with Win, I would say, was one of the most aggressive trades. Buying on the dip, which we've seen this a couple times now in Win. If you remember the Macau numbers, or there was a headline out a couple weeks ago about Macau, which drove Win down, and buyers come in right away and step into this name, which is what they did this morning as well. So I played a little bit of that name, made a little bit of money on the bounce. We also saw just a lot of chatter type flow. So that was in Hog. We saw that in CF as well. There's a couple other names where we saw some chatter related type flow. JD.com, we've just been continuing to see little call buyers in the name. This was a Tribeca Trade Group trade that we put on a call spread a couple days ago. I've been in and out of JD.com the last couple months, but I put a trade back on the other day, and where's my trade for JD? So exit at 155. This is the August 11th, 43.5, 46 call spread. Took a target today for one at 155. Paid 83 cents just a couple days ago. So nice trade there. Also got out of Broadcom. Real nice call spread I had on for 555. Paid 320. So nice play in Broadcom. I'm now out of Broadcom. That's another name that we've been seeing, I would say, continuous call buying in. So I might be out a little bit earlier in that one. FCX, more call buying in this name. FCX also took a leg higher after those numbers. Again, the weak dollar really helps the metals out. So we saw a little bit of a rally in the afternoon with that one. Saw a little bit of, IMAX has been in a deep downtrend, passed on that trade. More call buying in HPE. That's been a repeat in that one. And then if we get down here to the bottom, a name that we haven't seen before. I was actually looking to get into a BlackRock trade earlier. BlackRock had went down on earnings, but has been recovering here. So I kind of missed it on the dip, but a really difficult name to play in option activity. The options are so wide, but it looks like we did finally see a call buyer in this name. I would love it if the option market became more liquid for BlackRock. But you go and you look a couple months out, and the option markets are like $1 wide. So really difficult name. This one actually caught my eye. This was probably the most interesting trade for me for the day that I thought, besides the Win, besides a couple other small names. But Sohu, just another one of these China internet names, which have been really strong. You look at the KWeb ETF up another 1.2% today. So you kind of look like, and it almost looks like the JD chart, which I went long on this last break. I detailed this in the Tribeca Trade Group newsletter this weekend as a possible breakout. So we hit the nail on the head with this one. But you look at this Sohu, it looks kind of similar. This one is another. I'll bring up the description for you for Sohu. You can see it is involved in media search and game service, providing comprehensive online products and services for China. You take a step back in this thing, and you can see that this was once an $85 stock. So, above the 200-day moving average. The only problem is it reports earnings in a couple days. Maybe you put on a starter position for earnings, and then kind of see what it does after earnings. But another name that I think the chart looks really good in. We could go over here. I was looking at talking about Gilead, which I forgot to mention Gilead after the close. But this is a name that's been kind of moving sideways for a while, and all of these Chinese internets have just been absolutely on fire. One of the best performing groups year to date, and they continue to lift higher. So really, really strong performance. So, it's been BABA, it's been JD.com, but it's been a number of other ones as well. So that one caught my eye. I think that's pretty notable for the day. There's a couple all other small plays. They actually bought some Square ahead of the PayPal in the last hour of trading. AAP also saw some calls go up. PDCO, this was an aggressive call buyer that also went up this afternoon. Oh, here's the other one. I knew I was missing one. Biogen, BIIB. So a couple ratings increases for this name. Goldman came out with a nice note on this name. So this was a name that I put on for earnings. Nice winner for earnings, and then I added this trade, made it into a call spread. So I took the aggressive call activity, which is what I do quite frequently, and then I tailor it to my own trade. So I put on the SEP 310 325 call spread for 254, and it's already marking at $3. So again, I like this long base in Biogen, and now firmly above the 200-day moving average. So that's it for today's option activity, as well as review. Like I said, I missed Gilead, but I started a position in cash actually after hours. They had great numbers, Gilead. So I think there's more upside. They just blew out their quarter, 256 versus 214. Look at the revenue numbers as well, if I can find them here. Revenue 714 versus 6.34 billion dollars. I mean, that is a huge beat. And then they also raised guidance as well. So I went. This was a trade that we've been in and out of in the Tribeca Trade Group, but I bought this in the aftermarket. So I bought it here and I bought it down here. So I'm long this. This will go into my systematic cash trend portfolio, and I'll stay long versus the 200-day moving average. I've been eyeing this one. I just didn't really want to put on a big position in Gilead prior to earnings, but once I saw the numbers and I said, "Hey, this thing's only up a couple dollars." Let's just bring this up. I think my computer's hesitating here. Oh, it doesn't want to show me this. But you could see, I think I had it up over here. Oh, I don't. Up. Did it come in here? Nope. So no Gilead chart for you, but it is firmly above the 200-day moving average. So I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you back in the trading room. Another big day of earnings tomorrow. Thanks very much. Have a good night.